looking back on it now, he's working on me a lot harder than what I really remember. And we decided to have a little Bible study that night. Just something that's not done a lot in rehab, around a bunch of addicts. It just doesn't happen a lot. So we went, and there was about 3 or 4 of us. And at that moment, after we were done praying, I was done. I was done holding on to all this baggage, all this stuff that I've been carrying around for 20 years. I'm done with it. I got down on my knees, and I gave it all to him. I gave him my life that day. Day before my 16th birthday, I gave him my heart, but that day I gave him my life, and I haven't looked back. Now, the devil, he started on me right away. He's like, no, Josh, no, you ain't going to do that. He started on me the day after. And, you know, I had a headache. I'm still sore. I'm still not feeling 100%. But that night, during, what we call wrap-up, God had been working on me all day. You know, Josh, you need to tell these people what I've done for you. God, I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't want to do this. And you're talking about 30, 35 people that I don't know. I don't know these people. So, Josh, you need to do it. No, I ain't doing that. Josh, you need to do it. And once you start differentiating in your mind what yourself speaking to yourself and God speaking, it's a whole lot easier. And over these past few weeks, I've had to learn that. When is it just me talking in my head? And when it's God? And whenever you learn that, how you learn that is by getting in this Bible, praying, and doing what He asks you when He asks you to do it. Because whenever you do it, you go, oh, yeah, that was God talking. And so the next time He talks to you and tells you to do something, it's a lot easier for you to pick up on. So that night during wrap-up, I made no apologies for what I said because I honestly thought it was God talking to me. There is one way to heaven. One way. And that is through the saving power of Jesus Christ and what He did for you on the cross. Period. That's the way into heaven. And in so many words, I told him that. I told him what I just told you, what God has done for me since I was 15. How in the past 20 years I've done nothing for Him. Absolutely zero, nothing for Him. But just that one day, I listened to Him more in one day than I did in 20 years. Just by standing up and doing what I knew was right. And you know what happened? They booed me. No, they didn't boo me. Every one of them stood up, clapped, gave a round of ovation to God. And there were some of the hardest drug addicts I've ever seen in my life crying. That's what happens when you do what God tells you to do. I take no glory for that. That is God using me to speak His word to sinners. But the next day, the devil really came after me. Really bad. I was, can't remember everything that happened, but you're talking 7 days into rehab. 7 days. He's really coming after me. And I'm really not feeling it. Like I said, I've had this headache for 2 days. I can't get rid of it. I'm feeling really worn down. And let me tell you something. If the devil isn't coming after you, you're not doing what God wants you to do. Period. No question about it. You want the devil coming after you. You want him to keep beating you up. Because the more he does that, the stronger you get. And the more you can withstand what he's sending your way. If you want to be, doing what God wants you to do, and you want to be able to fight the devil off whenever he sends things your way, which is what I've been doing, the past 49 days. I know you guys say 49, keep saying 49 days, because I hold on to every day of my sobriety, every single day of my sobriety. I don't want to go back to the things that I was doing. This life is a lot easier than the life I was doing. Serving God is easy. It's not hard. You do what He says, and He'll help you through it. Period. I don't know how much more plain that I can make that. Do what He says, and He'll help you through it. You've got, in meetings that I go to, people like to talk about their higher power. And I know people have heard me say this before. I don't have a higher power. I have the highest power. You have the highest power, Christian youth, that's what I'm talking to, on your side. Don't be scared. Why are you scared to speak up and do what God wants you to do? I was, yeah. And it makes sense to me now that I've given it all to Him, and I've seen Him work in my life and seen Him do things in my life. But don't be scared. You've got the highest power in the universe on your side. If you had, well, heck, I don't know, Ben Diesel sitting next to you, you'd probably say whatever you wanted to, right? That's Ben Diesel. Who cares? God is a lot stronger than anything that you'll come up against. So that day, like I said, devil's really beating me down. And I shared that with the group the night before. And that night, I walked outside and I seen a guy that was standing there. And I shared with him the gospel, and I led my first person to the Lord. In 20 years of being saved, I led my first person to the Lord. I didn't do it. He was saying, what do I say? I don't know what to say. What do I say? I said, talk to your Father. There's only one prayer that God hears from a sinner. And that's the prayer that you pray whenever you accept Him into your heart. You can pray to your heart's content before that. God's not going to hear you. But as soon as you pray that sinner's prayer, you got an open line to Him any time that you want. He's got a line to you. You got an open line to the highest power, to God. To God. A couple days later, I really wanted to go, and I really wanted to work in the kitchen. As you can tell, I like to eat. And I knew that's where all the good food was, okay? So I finagled my way to a job in the kitchen. And the reason why I'm telling you this is it's important. The way God will line certain things up so He can use it. So, whenever you work in the kitchen, you control everybody's food. So everybody likes you. Everybody wants to come around and say, hey, Josh, what's going on? What's going on? And I use that to everybody that came to that door to talk to them and tell them what God has done in my life. A couple days later, there's this girl named Heather. Y'all pray for Heather. She's having a rough time right now. I keep in contact with her. I've been talking to her, and she's like, how do I give control over to God, Josh? How do I give control over to God? And at this point, I'm not recognizing really what she's asking me. How do I give my heart to God, Josh? How do I give my heart to God? But she kept saying control. Josh, I see you do it. I see you doing it every day. I see you walking, and I see you talking. That's the thing. You can talk it all you want. You can come in here and pray and all this stuff and talk it in school to all your friends. But if you walk out of there and you go party with them on the weekends, it ain't going to do no good. You're doing the same thing they are. They need to see something different in you. And since I did that, I had atheists. Y'all know what an atheist is. Buddhists, Muslims, come up and tell me, Josh, there's something different about you. I see something in you. And it's not me. It's God. I just let him have control. Just let him have it. That's what he wants us to do.